Have you wondered about living elsewhere in your retirement? Well, we have almost daily. No, it's not a simple decision, especially when two people are involved.
Hi, this is
Gil
and Gene of Retire There, a podcast about retirement destinations. We live in Brooklyn, New York. Having grown up and worked in this area of the country, we're hoping to relocate when we're both retired. For us, it's the weather, the chaos, the noise, and the yearning to be near nature and not within 3 feet of human beings.
That's right. In February 2020, we embarked on our journey to find that special place. We spent a week in Winter Park, Florida, which is beautiful, but something said it wasn't for us. As we were planning for the next trip, the pandemic arrived. Gene then gave birth.
I gave birth?
To this podcast. With so many baby boomers retiring, many must be relocating. Why not connect with and learn from them?
Here's a little background about us.
I'm Asian, born in Brazil, and grew up in Flatbush, Brooklyn. I'm an engineer turned attorney turned podcaster. I recently retired from a university career practicing higher education law. I loved the academic environment, but it was time to do something else. I no longer have to set an alarm, drive in BQE traffic, or work with people who don't always share the same principles. Ooh, did I just say that? You bet I did. I traded all that in to binge crime dramas into the wee hours, just a little bit, to develop the podcast, to volunteer, practice metalsmithing, tackle our possessions. No regrets so far. Gene?
I'm not Asian, and as Gil mentioned, I'm not retired. I'm just plain tired.
Oh.
Born and raised in Long Island, New York, a place I always wanted to leave. I'm a law librarian working in a court who loves his job, but we're retired by the time we select our ideal location. We will be speaking to folks from across the street to across the globe who have moved to their dream venues and more. So please stay tuned, and remember, if you know anyone who has moved anywhere for retirement, let us know.
Thank you. Hello, friends. Today we are traveling to the Pacific Northwest, one of Gene's favorite places on Earth.
Oh, yeah.
And why not? It's stunning out there. With us is Lorrie Josephine Cox. And sitting nearby is Emma, her granddaughter. So, you guys, if you hear anything out of the ordinary, just know that it's not us. Okay.
It's a 4-year-old.
It's a 4-year-old. Yes.
Yeah.
So today we are covering Woodburn, Oregon. It's a city in Marion County, Oregon, and was incorporated in 1889. It's located halfway between Portland and Salem, with a population of approximately 25,000. Demographics include a large senior residential area, a sizable Hispanic population, and a notable Russian population. It also has a large presence of agricultural services. Woodburn boasts the second largest tourist attraction in Oregon, Woodburn Premium Outlet Stores.
Oh, Gil, you'll be there.
Oh, man. Hey, we have those premium ones out here as well.
But that's a big one, I think.
Yeah, I think that sounds big. Popular festivals include the Woodburn Fiesta Mexicana, Wooden Shoe Tulip Festival, and the Great Pumpkin Way-Off. Records are frequently being broken at this event. In 2021, Cindy Tobeck's squash weighed in at an astonishing 2,030 pounds. Wow.
Wow, your
That's
mom
like a
had some
car.
big ones, but not that big, right?
No,
Gil?
no. This is the size or the weight of a vehicle, a ton.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, a little bit about our guest, Jane.
Lorrie Cox has lived most of her life in the Pacific Northwest. In 2004, Lorrie moved with her husband and mother-in-law from Battle Ground, Washington, to the 55-plus community of Woodburn Estates and Golf in Woodburn, Oregon. Although she and her husband were under 55, they were able to move to the community because her mother-in-law would be living with them. 3 years later, her husband was diagnosed with early-onset dementia. This put a change in their retirement and necessitated Lorrie coming home to care for him. He declined for 8 years before he passed away 7 years ago.
I'm so sorry.
During that time, Lorrie left the state job and started her own real estate agency and became the main neighborhood realtor.
Wow.
She has since closed her real estate agency and now works as a principal broker and certified probate real estate specialist for EXP Realty. Lorrie covers real estate in Woodburn and surrounding areas. If you want to see homes with Lorrie, she will take you house hunting in a 4-person heated purple and yellow EXP golf cart. Wow. Lorrie loves her career and being able to assist others in their new chapter of life. Lorrie is a former board member for the Woodburn Chamber of Commerce and a current board representative for the Woodburn Tourism Committee. Her children are scattered from Seattle to Las Vegas. In her personal time, Lorrie enjoys her grandkids and traveling.
So, Lorrie, welcome to Retire There. Please share with us how you wound up in Woodburn and why you remain there. And thank you so much for coming on to the show.
Thank you for having me on your show. It was an interesting loop. It was before we ever knew my husband was ill. Our children had all grown, and they were all done with college or military or whatever they had done. And we were looking for something to retire in. We also had a cabin up at Mount St. Helens at the time that we used, and we wanted to be able to go between the two places and still have not a real high cost year for taxes and insurances and all that between the two houses. So we started looking, and because I was still working in Portland and he was still working, had just accepted a job in Salem, and I had turned down several jobs in Salem because we were in Battleground and that was just too much of a commute. We started looking along the I-5 corridor. We looked at different houses, and my husband used to be a builder, and he saw the truss-built homes from the 60s and 70s and got all excited because you can take all the walls out in between because there are no supporting walls inside of it because the truss holds it up in the V. And so he landed on those on a very ugly house on the corner that I trusted him to totally remodel and be beautiful. And we put in for it and we got it. And we bought it all cash at that time due to the increase in the home, the Battleground, and what we'd paid off. So we had the money to buy it cash. And our mother-in-law came and lived with us. So that took care of the 55. The reason I stay, it ended up as a convenience on how to commute back and forth to our two occupations at that time. And we were both working, well, he was working for the county, and I was working for the state at the time. But the reason we stayed is we found a community that we had never imagined before. We found a church home that just welcomed us and was all about friendship and loving each other. And the community we found was the same way. And as my husband declined in his health, they circled around us and became our family and helped me take care of him while I worked and stuff. So it was pretty awesome.
Wow.
Yeah. So do you think it's very different from Washington, or is the Pacific Northwest kind of similar in nature? And how would you say?
I would say both Washington and Oregon have the beach, have the mountains, they have all types of weather that's around the world. They've got deserts, they've got rainforests, Washington more so than Oregon with the rainforest. But you can pick anywhere in the state and be less than, from corner to corner of each state is about 4 hours, or, east to west or west to east. And you can have whatever weather you want in the same day. And there's just I've traveled the world. Everybody told me New Zealand was the most beautiful place in the world. Mm-hmm. My sister and I rode a train up in New Zealand when we were there. And I was naming all the foliage. And everybody there was a lot of people from Australia there. And they're like, how do you know all of that? I go, because it's in my yard in Oregon. And as we were going through this fjords, I had to look up how a fjord was different than the Columbia Gorge.
Oh my God.
And it was just about the depth difference. Oh. And because we have so many things exactly. And New Zealand is known as one of the most beautiful places in the world. And I have to say Oregon is right there.
Oh, nice.
A fjord is a river that's cut deep into the earth. The Columbia Gorge is very much like that. And one of the, I think should be one of the world's 10 wonders, but that's my personal opinion.
Yeah, that's so nice. Okay, so let's talk about Woodburn. As a realtor, you would know all these numbers.
Yeah.
And we are so excited to have someone with your background on the show, the first, actually. And perhaps you could shed some light on those numbers for us for housing.
In the community, I specialize, which is the 55 plus. That's kind of my bread and butter area and where I live. There's 1,508 retirement homes for 55 plus. Wow. It's the largest HOA in the state of Oregon. I tell people all the time when they ask me about the community, and I say it's just like every family, every church. And that is that you have 95% of the majority that get along and are all there to help each other. Then you have that 5% that all of us avoid at every family reunion that are the vocal minority. Every neighborhood, every church, every family has.
Sure.
Yeah. But Woodburn, the 1,508 houses there, it's an undivided interest in the golf resort community. So we have a clubhouse, we have a pool, we have a hot tub, we have a big workout room with lots of different equipment in there. So I always tell my clients they don't need to bring that coat hanger that they had that was its only use instead of being an exercise equipment, because we have plenty of it there. Yeah. So the nice thing is too, a lot of the Medicare has enabled trainers to actually come in and help with, people with pool exercises and that kind of stuff, where we've been able to have that happen. We've got golf. We have an 18-hole golf course. It's private, and members can pay an extra amount and golf unlimited, or you can buy, like I do, a 10 card every couple of years because I'm a lousy golfer. I own a golf cart. A lot of us own golf carts that have never golfed. But with our basic membership, which is $750 a year, you can do the putt-putt golf, you can do the driving range, and you can use the pool, the hot tub, come to bingo, unlimited cards. There's just lots and lots of activities. We also have a public restaurant there. It's kind of a down-home cooking type.
Wow. Mm-hmm. I just want to make clear, so you live in the Woodburn Estates and Golf community, correct?
Correct. Then, of course, like you said before, we have a large Russian community and a huge Hispanic community. One of the things that I think is just phenomenal about Woodburn is our community. I've never seen a community, and I've been involved in lots of communities through the years, where the different churches work together to make sure that the young people have things to do after the games and after different events, right, to keep them occupied in constructive ways. And the city is really involved with, I belong to the chamber, and we have the city and the different business owners and the different pastors are there. And we all work to make sure our city and community needs are always met.
That's great.
So nice.
I want to ask you, again, back to real estate. This morning, I took a look at your real estate website. You had 2 listings for homes in Woodburn, and they seemed very reasonable. One was $425,000, and one was $350,000. Is that, would you say, the average in Woodburn, or is that not the average? What would you say?
I think the average right now is running about $350,000, maybe a little higher. In the 55 plus community, it's running about $325,000.
Wow, that's not bad.
Yeah, and the regular in the community, more family oriented community, we're at about $400,000.
Okay. And what does that include?
For $400,000, we're looking at 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, average, pretty much, with sometimes a sizable yard, sometimes not. Anywhere from like a 0.10 to maybe, like I've got a listing right now at 0.21 acres. So that's a fifth of an acre.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow.
So I know coming from New York, that's probably amazing.
Yeah.
But we all pretty much all have yards here.
Yeah. The houses look nice.
Yeah. Gorgeous. I'm just curious, those carts, what do they go for?
Mine was specially made. My late husband had it specially made for me.
Oh,
so it was around $10,000.
Wow.
But you can pick up a used one for generally $2,300 to $5,000. Mm-hmm. But if it's too cheap, then pretty much it needs new batteries, and the batteries have to be replaced about every 5 to 6 years, and they're about $800.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So that's really your only expense in putting water in the batteries.
Yeah. So was it customized in a particular way? What did your husband do?
Yes, mine is purple because my colors for my business are purple and yellow. So the body of it is yellow and all the curtains and all the thing around it are purple. I have purple material on mine.
And it's heated, as I said before,
It's
right?
heated. I've
Yes.
got a fan in there for in the summer, which we don't need all that much. I can take all of the material off or I can leave it on. It's totally customized. Mine's street legal, so I can take it on any road up to 35 miles an hour, which means I have at different times taken mine down to the post office, which is downtown, and back. And I always get
that
lots
purple
of looks.
lady.
And people know I'm a little old lady from the estate.
Purple card.
And then I got a real cute story about that. My granddaughter a couple of years ago was visiting, and she's pretty tall for her age. And we were riding in the golf cart, and we'd gone and seen a client, and I'd crossed over the main highway road that is a 35 mile an hour in that area. I saw the police officer, motorcycle cop. Well, I happened to know him from Chamber and stuff.
Of course.
And I didn't notice he followed me home. He turned around and followed me home. And so I'm in my driveway and I go, what did I do, Robert? And he goes, come away from your granddaughter. And I go, okay. And he goes, you don't have a car seat in your golf cart.
Oh.
And I said, why would I put the car seat in the golf cart? And he goes, she's underage. You have to. He goes, I'm presuming it's in your car. And I said, yeah, it is. So I had to get it out of my car. And my little granddaughter goes, I don't want to sit in the car seat.
I wouldn't want to either. It's no fun.
But mine does I do have seatbelts in it because it is street legal, but we very rarely use it unless we're out on a main road. But in the States itself, all of our roads are golf cart legal.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. I never even thought to ask that question. Is it street legal? But that makes sense, right?
Yeah, mine
can
is, but about probably 80% of them aren't. But they can go on all the estate streets because that's all been designated.
Gotcha.
Okay. And so you take clients out in your golf cart.
Oh, yeah. I love to take clients on it. In fact, just before I left for Vegas, I took out 4 clients, a couple and their daughter, and we rode in it. And one of the great things about that is there's no other way for you to see the back of the houses that are on the golf course and see how they've done the patios and put a golf cart garage into their house and that kind of stuff. By doing that, there's with an 18-hole golf course and there's houses along every single bit of it, they get to see what people have done differently to remodel as the years went in a different fashion than they get to see anywhere else because they get to see the backyards and the patios.
Question from Brooklyn, I guess, is can you just leave the golf cart in the front? Is there any concern or do you have to put it in to a golf cart garage?
There's a lot of people who leave theirs parked in the front. Mm-hmm. There was some episodes about 4 years ago that some kids started selling parts off the golf carts on the internet. So we had a theft issue. Mm-hmm. And it was really interesting because it didn't take but a day or so. And you started seeing the cops driving up the golf course. Luckily, it was summer. And driving up the golf course in the middle of the night with their lights looking because they'd gotten a report. That's another thing is our police force is very involved with our community.
And is your community gated?
No.
Okay.
And all of our streets are city streets. So we don't have to pay the upkeep on the city streets.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
And what are the taxes like, the real estate taxes?
Mine, I have a 980 square foot home and mine are at $2,500 a year.
But they're lower in the 55 plus community, right?
Nope.
Oh, it's the same.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's great.
What about amenities and Wi-Fi, internet?
That's one thing. Being really involved with the community and the city, several years ago, about 6 years ago, I had a buyer that couldn't buy in the estates because our internet wasn't fast enough and for that company for the upload speeds. So I, at that point, became very, very vocal to the city because the city does the contracts and then each company does kind of, what they're going to do. But technology was moving so quickly that it was hard to get that type of a contract in place. Plus, we had to wait for the contract that was in place to expire. So at many, many different meetings, our city manager go, yes, Lorrie, I know it's on the list. And
They're lucky to have you, this community. Mm-hmm.
And so, but right now, there's been some complaints, and it's like, don't complain. We've waited for this for years. But
yeah.
Comcast, which they have a second name now, I can't remember what it is. They are bringing all new hardwire in, all new cabling in at this point. They have a contract, but they have to get so many miles of cable brought in to fulfill that contract.
Sure.
So we're going to see a huge thing. In between, Wave did bump us up quite a bit. Mm-hmm. So we haven't really had that problem, a real big problem with it in the last 4 years, although we still have droppage issues. But I am really looking forward to, within the next 2 months, that should be done. That's really exciting.
Yeah, I'll bet. I mean, thank God we're getting through here, quite nicely. And what are the costs for associated with that for amenities and so forth?
My utilities run about, I have a 1/4 acre yard, so I have a bigger yard than most people. And I have lots of flowers, like I said before, I have tons. My water bill does double in the summer because I do water and do drip systems everywhere so that I don't have to go do it myself. Mm-hmm. And so I usually run about 60 every 2 months in the winter. And then I jump to like 120 all summer long. My electricity is, I have it prorated over the year, and it's about $69 a month.
Oh, nice.
And I have gas for both heating and my hot water tank. So that runs me about $70 a month, and I have that prorated also.
Okay. And cable and internet?
I cut the cable, and I've got everything streamed. That's what I was looking for.
Oh, okay.
I have everything streamed. And so I pay for the internet. It's about $100 a month.
Okay.
And I've got the fast internet. Okay. But other than that, I stream everything else in for my TV, and I end up spending about $50 a month on the different ones I've chose to stream in.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So I guess that 100, which is high, that includes a landline, right?
Yes.
Okay. Because I was wondering, because we have a package through, I think it's Spectrum, that includes cable, phone, but we opted for the first time to get rid of our landline, and that makes Gene very worried.
So it doesn't include phone. You said phone, yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry. It does not include phone. We're like at 190. It's insane. And we stream, because I like all these British, European shows. So it's like 1 month, BritBox, another month it's PBS, Masterpiece, whatever. Okay. All right. That's very good.
I have just a couple more questions about real estate. I know in California, where the housing prices are higher, the sale price, usually a lot of people bid over the asking price. Is that the case where you are?
Up until 3 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm. Why are you laughing?
I had only had 2 that I really ended up with a bidding war. I mean, I had, a couple offers sometimes, but not really a bidding war that went above. But things are so crazy right now that even in the 55 community, I just had a bidding war on a darling little 2-bedroom, 812 square foot, 1 bath that I put in at $285. I only got 1 offer in at $285. I had 5 other offers that were above it, and we ended up $50,000 above my asking.
Wow. For 850 square feet.
Wow.
Okay. Wow. Is it because of COVID, you think?
No, the inventory is very low.
Okay. Yeah. To begin with.
The inventory is low, and that's what's driving it, really. I had a family house that I did expect it to go way over, and it did. It went house 2 months ago I did that's already closed. It was a 4-bedroom, 2-bath with a fifth of an acre, a nice 2-car garage and a couple different shed houses and stuff. I had put it on the market for $400, and we sold it for $425. Mm-hmm. Oh. I had 41 people walk through my open house.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, okay.
That was amazing. But we do not have enough family type homes, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 4-bedroom, 2-bath. Amazon is being built, and it's the biggest Amazon on the West Coast ever.
Oh, wow.
And Chewy is coming in, Chewy.com.
Sure.
And so we have tons coming in. Plus, we had a ton of new builds. Two of the biggest farmers had passed away, and their children, well, in one case, the children had passed away too. Mm-hmm. And so the grandchildren have sold it all, and it's being developed into housing. And so there's, I think, I'm going to get this number wrong, but several, I would say 300 to 500 houses being built between the 3 different big subdivisions. That's not going to be enough for the Amazon and the Chewy.com employees.
Wow.
So our inventory is still going to be running low. There is a 55 condo that's supposed to go up, but I don't have a lot of information on that yet. So there will be more 55 opportunities. So it'll help inventory a little bit, but I don't think we're going to get there to where we're going to see prices come down too much. I think we've seen them level out for the most part, unless it's an exceptional house.
Wow. So this Amazon location is going to be larger than its Washington facility, you're saying?
Yes.
Wow. The housing prices are so high in California. A lot of people from California moving to Oregon.
Yes.
I hear it in your voice how you feel about those Californians.
Sell a house, I don't care.
Of course. Who would? I am with you.
Is it as bad as Idaho where somebody from California goes there and a lot of times they'll get their plates taken off?
I don't know about that. Yeah, I don't. Okay.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Okay. I want to go to renting. You know the price of renting an apartment? Say a 2 or 3 bedroom or 1 bedroom, even a studio?
Well, a studio is about $1,500.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And
this is in Woodburn?
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
There's almost zero. And part of that is during COVID, they put out all these rules about the not having to pay rent and everything due to COVID.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so you saw a lot of homeowners. The only way they could possibly deal with that if they needed the money coming in, or in case of a lot of them, they were getting their retirement age. And the only way they could do anything was to pay them to move somewhere else and sell the house.
Oh, wow.
So a lot of houses, and then there was some legislation put in trying to stop a lot of that if there was a penalty if you turned it from a rental into, a single homeowner situation. Mm-hmm. So it's been a big political football for the last couple of years, but the rental inventory also went down a lot due to
demand. Yeah.
And the inventory is just, it is what it is. There's not enough. Okay. When I first started selling real estate in there was only one time that we got below 10 houses on the market at any time. Wow. And we would sell 100 a year. Well, we're selling 100 a year still, but we've only got like 1 or 2 in the 55 community on the market at the time. There's not enough inventory for the buyers right now.
Okay. So the studios run about 1,500 and we're recording early April of 2022. What about a 1 bedroom or 2 bedroom?
Well, you don't see too much of those, but you usually jump in your 2,000 range. And
2 to 3,000.
Yeah, I know that for a family home, you're looking at 3,000 to 5,000 a month for rent.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It's funny. It seems that the housing prices are somewhat reasonable, but the rents are not so reasonable.
It's kind of like,
I guess it's inventory, like you say.
Let's talk about food in Woodburn. Where do you go for food shopping, and are the costs reasonable?
Depending on your taste, we have a Walmart that is a superstore, and so it has everything in it.
Yes.
And it's reasonably priced. And in fact, they have a lot of their things that they might have carried in a Sam's Club. So there's a lot of bulk type items available there also. Mm-hmm. We have a Safeway. That's my particular favorite. Mm-hmm. And I like it because I'm gluten-free, GF. Mm-hmm. And so they really go out of their way to make sure there's a lot of GF options there.
Nice.
So I can find anything from a chocolate iced dessert to, good bagels or GF. And I'm really picky about my bread. And they listen when a lot of us said, we don't like that brand, try a new one, and somebody finds a brand we like, we tell Safeway what it is, so they'll order it in. Because there's quite
I love it.
There's GF in here. So, and then we've got a market that is kind of a Winco, but it's not. And it caters to the Russian and the Hispanic community.
Wow.
So anything you want that would be like typically in a Hispanic grocery store is available there. Same thing with the Russian.
Oh,
And so it's fun to shop there because you can get some more variety in what you're doing.
yeah.
That shopping cart is what's called, and it has awesome meats. They really specialize in having good cuts, and it's fun because I can go in there and they'll have the cuts already done of like beef that is already seasoned and everything, and I make my fajitas with it.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Pound, and that's really nice. So, and the shopping cart has been very involved in the community, supporting the soccer field, supporting just tons of stuff. And as a chamber, they're a member of the chamber, and they have gone really out of their way to make sure that they are very community oriented.
Can you just repeat? Shopping cart is part of Safeway?
Shopping cart is like a kind of like a Winco.
What's a Winco?
Okay. It's like what used to be a Wearmart, but Winco's a big, you bag your own stuff.
Oh, it's like Lidl, or maybe Costco has you bag your own stuff, like a warehouse.
Well, our Costco doesn't have bag your own stuff. We do have a Costco in Wilsonville, which is 15 miles away.
Okay.
So we have a Costco very close.
Mm-hmm.
Where we're located, anything you need is a minimum of 0 to 15 miles away, whether it's movie theaters or Costco's or you name it.
Okay.
Car lots.
Okay. All right. So it's a line out in, I guess, either the Pacific Northwest or so, because I see they're also in Idaho and Winco Foods. Okay.
Yeah, it's a, I don't know how to explain it exactly.
No. We get it.
Fine.
We get it.
Generally lower cost than what you see at Safeway or and more specialized foods than you see at Walmart.
Okay. But for the 55 plus community, do people need to drive to these stores, or can they pick up food and, kind of walk back, or no?
All of them deliver.
Okay.
In the Walmart, there are a select few that actually drive their golf cart over there and buy their groceries via the golf cart.
Oh, wow.
So the Walmart is close enough that even though you have to go onto the street legal streets to get there.
Mm-hmm.
But there's quite a few people that do go shop in their golf cart. We also have pharmacy chain, Walgreens. We have a Walgreens within our area, and everybody golf carts up there to pick up their prescriptions. And Walgreens also carries quite a few of the grocery type things, especially for the 55 community. And they really specialize on having those type of things there for them. So a lot of people just go up there and pick up a few of the groceries in between their deliveries.
Okay. So you need a car or a golf cart, really. You can't walk. It's tough to walk to these places, right? Yes, it's
spread out enough. And a lot of that's because, everybody's got their own yard and their own property and everything else. So it's much bigger than, like a condo all in one thing, and then establish things under it.
Continuing on in the food group, are there walkable coffee houses in your area? I'm trying to picture this in my head. Is there places that you can just go down the street, like a main street, bookstore, that kind of thing?
Well, that's another thing our HOA has in it for the 55 community. Oh. We have a big library. It's self-checkout and volunteers refile them. We have a lot of hardbounds and softbounds and, just paperbacks, all that stuff, magazines, even newspapers that come in. So as far as that, plus then we've got the restaurant right there, and that's kind of everybody's favorite. You'll see the fire department coming by and having their lunch there, and the police department. It's just a wonderful, she's open from, Renee owns it, and she's open from I think it's 6 or 7 in the morning till 9 at night.
This is on site, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the community.
Yeah. And you can have, when my husband was declining, I just ran a ticket there. Whenever he needed to eat, he would stop there and they would just put it on my tab. He could just stop and eat with the golf, as he's running around the golf cart with our dog. So a lot of people do that. There is Denny's we'll go to that's right there in golf cart distance,
Mm-hmm.
and or even walkable, depending on where you live in the complex.
What about like Starbucks or Pete's or any of those kind of coffee houses?
There's a Dutch Boys across the street.
I've been to a Dutch
Dairy
Boys.
Queen, and all of those are Dairy Queen and Dutch Boys and Denny's or Walgreens are all either walkable or. And in real estate, we're not allowed to use the word walkable anymore.
Oh,
okay.
Oh, yes.
Because there's an ADA. Not everybody can walk it.
Right.
So that's a term that I've kind of struggled with how to find the right phrasing as I advertise things.
Yeah.
And so that's a big deal right now in real estate. But
sure, that makes sense.
So, but golf cart distance or even scooter. There's a lot of people that take their scooters and go to Denny's, or they take their scooters and they go to Dairy Queen, or they take their scooters and go to Dutch Brothers, which is that's my favorite. Starbucks is a little bit, it's over by the outlet malls. And then there's a Starbucks uptown.
Oh, okay. Okay. So it doesn't sound like from your community, you can kind of just walk over to a Dutch Boy and grab a cup of, latte.
You could, but there's no place to sit down.
Oh, okay. 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 When I think of the Pacific Northwest, what comes to mind is the
coffee.
Land of delicious coffee.
Oh, it is the best. And Dutch Brothers is my favorite.
That's okay. Hey, give them a plug. Give them a plug.
Out.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
And when you say scooter, you're talking about one of those scooters you sit on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
People that can't walk very far.
Sure.
My sister has one. So there's a lot of people in our neighborhood that have them.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's also a lot of people, a big thing that's been the last couple of years is the 3-wheeled bikes.
Oh.
And there's a whole group of, they call them the biker girls. And they're out on their 3-wheel bikes, and their dogs will be in the baskets, and they're doing the neighborhood on every good day out exercising.
Oh,
yeah, we have a young man down the block who has one.
Yeah. You know what? I think that's what I'm going to be doing when I reach, Yeah. Okay. All right.
That's so funny.
Gene has a burning question. What's that?
I said, when you reach?
Yes, I'm there. But, I'm still trying to walk everywhere. Okay. All right. So, Gene?
Have no trouble with that, huh, Gil?
Yeah.
So we talked about Walgreens is close by. And speaking of pharmacies, how's the healthcare in your area?
I happen to be a Kaiser. I have Kaiser Healthcare.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple of years ago, Salem Health built a urgent care in our area, walkable for me, but not for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Right there next to in the Denny, by the Denny complex and everything. Kaiser honors that. So literally I can go with Kaiser for my pharmacy, and had a really bad bronchitis and stuff. I went over there and was able to go a golf cart over there to get my health care. We have several urgent clinics in town. We do not have a full-fledged hospital in town, but we do have 2 within about 20 miles of us.
Oh, that's not bad.
So, and sometimes people say, well, there isn't one in Woodburn. Well, what are we going to do? And I said, well, if you lived in Portland, you'd probably be more than 20 miles from the hospital anyways. So, it's all relative in how you think of things.
Okay.
And is it difficult finding a doctor, or since
primary care?
Are there enough doctors there, especially primary care doctors?
A few years ago, we heard some complaints, but lately I haven't heard complaints of people being able to find a primary. So the only time I hear that really is when somebody's moving in the area asking for references of where to go. But we do have some really good health systems. I am looking forward to switching over to Medicare next year. I've got a year of wait for that, and it'll save me about $400 in my pocketbook. So I'm really, really looking forward to that.
Nice.
And the care will be the same as what I'm already paying for, because I'll just continue with the Kaiser. A lot of our community is on Medicare, and even through a lot of the different policies, they'll pay, if you don't drive, they will pay for you to take Dial-A-Ride to go see the doctor. So in our community, there's ways, if you don't drive, there are ways that you can get around very inexpensively for seniors. Then we, of course, have the taxis in town. But for seniors, I always try to think of the least cost.
I'm sorry. And what does that go for? Dial-A-Ride?
I think it's like $10.
Okay. Yeah. It's less than that running meter.
Oh, yeah. For sure. And, and I do know that they will take you to Salem to like the Kaiser Clinic down on Lancaster and stuff like that. So, and it is subsidized a lot by the city.
Okay.
And how far is Salem?
Depending on what part of Salem, but it's about 15 miles.
Okay.
Okay.
Salem's pretty big, so it could be 30 miles.
And we neglected to ask one question about home ownership. How are the HOA fees where you live?
There's $750 a year, but there is a 1.5% buy-in that goes to the working capital fund. And that helps keep the capital expenditures taken care of, like the pool, the hot tub, the paving of the parking lot, the roof, all those things. And sometimes people say, well, I don't use those. Well, you do in an inverted way. And your home value is also based on all those amenities.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So $750 plus 1.5%
of the sale price when you come in. That's a one time.
At the beginning.
Oh, that's a one time. Okay.
One time. And then you have $750 a year. Then also we have an RV lot. We have a huge RV lot. I think it takes like 500 or 600 slots in it. Anyways, you can rent that anywhere from $440 a year to $660 a year, depending on what size you need.
Right.
And so that's pretty dirt cheap to store an RV all year.
So you have an RV lot, but does that include manufactured homes or just the RVs? Just the RVs. Okay.
I'd like to know where the nearest international airport is.
PDX, and it is, depending on the traffic of the day, it's either 30 minutes to 45 minutes away.
Okay.
And PDX is Portland, I assume?
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. No. We've been there, so I remember that. Nice airport, actually.
It is.
Yeah.
I have traveled a lot of the world, and PDX to me is the best airport I've been in.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'm thinking of, I had delicious coffee, and I can't think of the big
and
piano.
And the reputation of Oregon, you have lots of options for coffee in there.
Oh, yeah. Stumptown, that's what I had.
Yes, okay. Stumptown.
Yes.
That's what Portland is. Yeah,
it was great. Piano player sitting in an airport. Yes. Oh, so cool.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. You had mentioned that when we were asking you to prioritize the factors of considering Woodburn, cost of living and health and medical resources were tied at 1. And we talked about that. So everything seems kind of on par. What about you rated social activities as your second? Can you talk about that?
I'm a people person.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, there needed to be activities. And I did get involved with the city. I'm involved in some of the county stuff. I was for a while on the CERT team, which is like a emergency response team. But for me and for a lot of people, I tell them when they move in the 55 community, you can be as busy as you want to be or as reclusive as you want to be. For me, I'm kind of looking forward. We're coming out of COVID restrictions, and I'm excited for bingo to get started again at the clubhouse on Wednesday nights.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll be fun to get going again.
That sounds
fun. You've got, like you said, the wooden shoe, which right now is in full bloom. If you haven't looked at some of the Facebook pictures, either on mine or on the wooden shoe Facebook,
right.
The tulips are in full bloom right now. They're just gorgeous.
Beautiful. Yeah.
And I'm a big flora and fauna person. So then the peonies will be in bloom by the 1st of April. And we've got peony farms here.
Peony farms.
Irises will be in bloom and in May also. So we'll have the iris farms that are all showing off.
Beautiful.
And then after that, then we'll have the chrysanthemums farms and
my God,
it's the valleys. So we have tons and tons of. You can go to all the waterfalls you want to go to. You can go to all the florist things you want to go to. It's just, especially for nature people.
Yeah.
There's so much to do.
Right. The hiking.
There must be a lot of hiking trails, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Lots and lots.
Yeah.
We have some of the best waterfalls in the world.
You are amazing, Lorrie.
Yeah, you're good.
Your arms are like, okay, I got this. And Emma, Grandma's trying to finish this with us. Okay. So
you've been good, though.
Sit tight.
She's been very good.
And that's a beautiful dress. You're such a good grandma. You are such a good grandma.
Nana.
That's right. Okay.
Grandma's grandma. I'm Nana.
Okay. So we were talking about hiking trails, and there must be tons.
Silver Falls is about 10 miles from here.
Okay.
And it is a well-known state park that has beautiful hiking trails, beautiful waterfalls. There's so many, it's specialized in so many pictures. And then there's, you can go 40 miles up to Portland and see Multnomah Falls, which of course is world renowned.
Okay.
And there's just hiking trails everywhere here. And
That's
you can,
great.
most hiking trails, you come across waterfalls and beautiful flowers.
And I know about the art scene. So there's got to be all sorts of courses, right? And opportunities for painting. And
we've got an art community here in town. There's a house that was dedicated to it from one of the founders of the city.
Right.
And so we have quite an art thing here in town. Huge. One of the art directors is a good friend of mine, and they help sponsor tons of stuff and give to a lot of the paintings that are done, go onto auction and stuff like that.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Right.
And what about weather? Let's talk a bit about weather.
When you're hiking, does it pour a lot, as we've heard?
Yeah.
We get a bad rap for all the rain.
Yeah.
But really, we have probably, I think, like 120 days a year with no rain.
Oh, nice.
So that's a lot more dry days than people give us credit for.
Right, right.
And so obviously we live it up during that time. And like I said, my magnolia, we had rain. That's just part of the thing. And I don't know if you know what camellia bushes look like, but they're so beautiful, but it only takes one rain and they're so heavy, they just fall off.
Oh, man.
It is really interesting, but it is beautiful weather. We're in the valley, just from Battleground, where I used to live, to here. I gained 90 days of grow period on each side. So in Battleground, I was in the shadow of Mount St. Helens. Sorry, and the dog is here also. So we have dog and 4-year-old distraction noises.
Oh my God, he's so cute. He likes
adorable.
the computer. What is that, a terrier?
I think he likes her.
It's a schnauzer, and she's trying to get away from the 4-year-old.
Ah.
All right, guys, if you're listening to this show, you have to see Lorrie. She is able to corral the 4-year-old and the dog
and the schnauzer,
who have joined the show. What's her or his name?
Her name is Tinkerbell.
Tinkerbell.
Tinker. She's a mini toy schnauzer that's black and white.
Oh, beautiful.
She is a gorgeous dog.
Yeah, I think
we've covered a lot. I have a question. If somebody says, "Wow, I would love to live in Oregon," and
how can they reach you?
How can they reach you if they want you to take them around in your golf cart and show them some homes?
My personal phone is 503-989-1986. And my email is Lorrie, LORRIECOX .realtor, REALTOR @gmail.com. So it's LorrieCox.realtor @gmail.com.
It'll all be in our show notes, everyone. And I'll just repeat that again because you have given us so much information and it sounds so lovely where you are. And we already, Gene and I are very aware of that area of the world, and it's beautiful. And so once again, Lorrie Cox may be reached at 503-989-1986, and it's Lorrie Cox, one word, .realtor @gmail.com.
And my website is www.woodburnrealtor.com.
Oh, nice. That's easy to remember. Okay. Well, Lorrie, we thank you so much. It's been a lot of fun. I wish we could spend a little more time, but we know you've got to run. If we have any questions, I'm sure people will contact us or you. And all the best. All the best.
Yeah, thank you so much for doing this. You were great.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. All right, take care.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you know someone who's relocated for retirement and wishes to share their story with us, please reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you. Our email address is gg@retirethere.com. Our website is retirethere.com, and you may follow us on Twitter at retirethere_. Now, if you've liked our show, please subscribe and rate it in Apple Podcasts. In the meantime, be well.